Hello and welcome to the final episode of Barely Surviving Indev Plus. In this episode I would like to finish things off, and to start I would like to build something in the floating world. I have decided that the thing that I would like to build is a sort of Indev house that's hanging off a chain. I think that would be interesting. But before that I'm gonna need to heal myself because as I was trying to start the episode, a creeper blew up next to me, almost killed me. I'm going to start this build by building the house, which will be located over here, sort of in between these two floating islands and sort of below them. And to make this a bit more interesting, I'm gonna add some large glass windows. That way I can look outside and see everything there is. Anyway, now I'm gonna add the roof. As you can see, this house will have a ladder that you can use to get inside and outside. Anyway, now it is time to attach the house to something, because as I said, I want this house to be hanging off something, a chain of sorts. So firstly I'm gonna add a hook of sorts that house will be attached to. And I had to bring a diamond pickaxe since I made a mistake. And through this will go another hook. Like so. I've also added a sort of yellow thing to which the chain will be attached. And for the chain I'm gonna use sort of two materials, brimstone bricks and brimstone. I think this will be nice and kind of distinguish the individual parts of the chain. Kind of like this. So now I'm just gonna go a bit higher and then add something that's attached to the chain, that's sort of holding this up. And the thing that the chain will be attached to will be a wooden structure of sorts, a wooden beam. With some planks added to it for some better structural integrity. And last but not least, I would like to add some blocks that are going through the chain. Kind of like so. I'd like to imagine that the chain is sort of hanging off these locks. I mean, this sort of long lock, and that this beam which sort of holds it up in between these islands. Anyway, I think that this build is finished. I just need to clean up after myself because I made quite a mess while building, since I needed to building up to get here, and here is the build finished. As you can see, I've also expanded the yellow thing a bit. But anyway, I'd say it looks good. Okay, simple bit. I'd say it's good enough. Only thing that I'm thinking is that the sort of house part could have been larger, but I don't feel like expanding it anymore. But anyway, now that this is finished, I will move on to the main world. And before I start building in the main world, I'm gonna need to do some cleaning up, because I've got these chests over here. This is a snowman over there, which are kind of in the way of the house that I plan to build here. Now, as you can see, I've gotten rid of the chests and furnaces that were in the middle. I have also added a reed farm to the farming area, and now it's time to move on. Before I start building the house that I want to build here, there are a few things that I would like to take care of first. First being to take care of these chests over here, because I realized that certain items don't have a place where they belong, and I also want to get rid of the excess chests that I have in here. So first I'm gonna decorate these chests and then take care of the rest. And now that it's finished, so the next thing to do is to get rid of the excess chests, and I've also decided to replace the sand around these chests with dirt so that I get grass here, so I feel like it will look better. Next up are large mushrooms, because I would like to have some more large mushrooms in this area. I think it will look cool. Now that that is finished, it is time to move on to another thing. Originally I was planning to take care of the tree farm, however I decided that that is something that I will do after I build the house, which means that it is time to start building the house. However, before I start, I need to measure things out. I have not decided how big the house will be, so I'm gonna measure that out and then start building. And here's the size of the house that I decided to go for. As you can see, it takes up a lot of the middle area. I think it should be fine. Anyway, now it's time for me to explain my plans for this house. So on the outside, I plan to have a porch, sort of 3 blocks wide, and it will go all around the house. And in the middle will be the actual house itself. This will be the size of it. It's marked out by the sort of middle dirt blocks, sort of in the corners over here. My idea is that the house will have 2 floors. The first floor will be larger, and the second floor will be smaller, which is marked out by these dirt blocks that are in the sort of insidemost dirt blocks, and sort of on the outside of the second floor I'll have a balcony. Will, just like the porch, be 3 blocks wide. Anyway, those are my plans. Now I'm gonna start building, and I'm gonna start with the porch, which I've decided will be elevated above the sand and also will be made out of palm wood. And here is the work finished. As you can see, I've also added some logs as borders and also some fences and some stairs so you can walk up. Of course, it's not completely finished as I'll be finishing it after I do the roof, but for now I'm considering it finished. So I'll be moving on to the inside of the house, for which I've decided that I will have a oak plank floor. Also have this sand, but it only acts as a filler block, since above it will be the wall of the house, which I'll add later. For now I'll start working on the floors on the inside. Also, I'll have a spiral staircase in the middle, but anyway, now it's time to fill in the floor. And once I finish the floor, I'll start working on the outer walls. And for the walls, I've decided to do a bit of an experiment, which is to use a combination of bricks and clay. Let's see how it turns out. And to finish off the walls, I'm gonna add some windows. Some trapdoors, which act as shutters. And last but not least, some doors. And now it is time to start working on the inside. And the first thing that I'll do is to add a ceiling to this sort of big room, for which I'll need to first place some blocks on top of this wall. First, you won't really see these blocks because my plan is to sort of hide them with a roof so that you won't see them from below. However, you will see these blocks from above. But that is fine because you won't really see this wall from above, since that will be covered mostly by roof. At least that's my current plan. And for the ceiling, I have decided to use some brushed planks. As you can see, I have added the ceiling. Another thing that I've also did off camera is replacing the sand with dirt, and I've also replaced the cobblestone that was sort of in the mills with dirt as well. I think it looks better this way. Anyway, with that finished, it is time to start working on the inside. This house will be mainly decorational, so there will be a lot of decoration stuff as well. And the first thing that I'll be adding is a dinner table with some chairs next to it, as you can see. I also want to add some plants, for which I'll be using grass and leaves with some trapdoors. Make it look like it's a potted plant, and also some tables at the windows with some flower and some flowers on the table as well. Next up is the kitchen area, for which I've got a few things that I would like to add, like a fridge made out of iron blocks, some furnaces which represent ovens, and some concrete which represents the countertop, along with some stone slabs, which will represent like the exhaust wood. So I need to break the ceiling so that I can place them. I will also add some barrels, which will represent like cupboards for storage. A table in the middle so that you can put things away, along with some chairs so that you can sit at it. And last but not least, some flowers. Next up will be a sort of living room area, for which I will have like a couch, which I'll recolor using the red dye since I want a red couch, along with a coffee table in front of it, with some flowers on top. Now, I've also added some table with flowers to the window and also some bushes. And now next up I'll add a TV represented using some obsidian, just like you do it in Classic, along with some note blocks which will represent speakers. Along with some trapdoors at the back of the TVs to hide the obsidian. There we go. And last but not least, a lunch area where you can sit with your guests. So I'm gonna add some couches, some bigger than others, along with a table and some regular chairs, and also a plant in the back. There we go. And after that I've added a carpet along with some lanterns, which I didn't need to use, but I thought they'd be nice in here. And so with that, the first floor is finished. So now it's time to move on to the second floor. However, before I start doing it, I am going to add a roof after the porch, because I feel like that will help me decide how I want to do the second floor. And the way that I've decided to do the roof is using some slabs that were made out of like palm and oak wood. I think that will work nice. And I've added the roof along with some fences which act as support, which means that the first floor is now finished. So I'm going to now move on to the second floor, and to start it off I'm going to start working on the balcony, because that is something that I know that I want to add. And now it is time for the actual second floor, and I've decided that the walls will use the same design as the walls of the first floor. Originally I was considering using some different materials, but I think it should be fine to use the same ones for the second floor. As you can see, I have decided not to make the walls as symmetrical as on the first floor. Anyway, now it's time to start working on the inside. I decided that the second floor will be sort of bedroom. So I've already added some double bed, and now I'll add some other decorations like some bookshelves. And I've added some more decorations, as you can see, which means that this build is close to being finished. There are just a few things that I need to do, like adding a roof and a ceiling to this place, which I will do off camera. And here we can see that the final boss summons some clones of sorts when it reaches 50% health. Anyway, after the last clip I went ahead and finished the house, as you can see. And now I have added the roof, and so I'd say the house is finished. I've also done some sort of on the inside, because I've noticed a mistake that I've made, because this wall over here was an odd length, even though it's supposed to be even length, so I had to fix that. Another thing that I've also did is I cut down all of the trees that were here and replaced them in such a way that there be sort of each tree type. Anyway, with that finished, it is time for me to start unlocking the achievements. There are a few remaining because I've already unlocked quite a few during my playthrough, but one of the achievements that I have yet to unlock is, for example, one for playing a music disc, for which I forgot to bring some materials. Anyway, now it's time to craft it. We've got a jukebox and a music disc. And there we go, got an achievement. Next up is an achievement for crafting an apple pie. I need to actually eat from it, so I can't get myself hurt. There we go. Got the achievement. Next I need to wrangle a mob with a fishing rod, which will be easy. There we go. Next there is one for equipping a quiver. After that there is one for bringing grass into a moon world, which I haven't unlocked yet due to a bug, but that's fixed now. So you can now unlock this by fertilizing the dirt, which is what I did in that moon base. And last, we've got some related to the adamantium, like for example, make an adamantium chest, a moon watch, adamantium quiver, and using it to shoot a bow. Then there's also one for using the adamantium arrows. Alright, I still have the arrows, got confused with. And lastly, I need to make a hellfire lighter and smell something with it. There we go. After that are the challenges, and one of those is to craft a golden apple. Another one is for killing a fire imp with some snowballs. So I just gotta find an imp now. There's an imp right here. there's also a challenge for unlocking all the recipes, which wouldn't be too hard, as there are the remaining recipes that I have to unlock, and there aren't too many of them, and a lot of those are the glass recipes, which will get unlocked when I just sort of grab one of them. So it shouldn't take too long to unlock all of these recipes, and those will be kind of boring, so I'll do it off camera. And there we go. Got the challenge for unlocking all of the recipes. And while crafting, I've also unlocked the challenge for spending 100 days in a world. And now the next challenge that I would like to do is to reach a score of 100,000. And while doing that, I'll also try to get the sniper duel challenge, because my plan is to challenge a blood moon for that. So I'll also kill some skeletons during that, but for that I need to first prepare some gear, because I don't have any diamond I can craft it. And now I should be ready, so it is time to start hunting. The reason why I've chosen to hunt during a blood moon is because I believe that giants give the most points. Just got sniper duel, but unfortunately I didn't capture it on camera. Anyway, now it's time for me to continue earning points. And there we go, got all of the challenges, achievements, which means that now it is time to return to the main world. And with that will be it for this episode and this series, because I believe that I had done enough. I had built builds in different worlds, and I have unlocked all of the achievements and challenges. So, saying I had done enough, so I'm gonna end things off, and as an ending, I decided to do the same thing that I did in the last series at the end, which is to blow things up. Of course, this explosion won't be quite as large because I don't have as much TNT, but it should be enough. Of course, this is a copy of my world. And with that, that's it for this series. Next up, I plan to do a Classic Bus series, which should be next week. But anyway, that will be it from me for now. I'll see you in the next one.